One of the most exciting young basketball players in the league, in my opinion, is Jalen Green. Despite the scoring inefficiency, he's been absolutely electric as a player due to his athleticism and scoring flashes. I don't think it's fair to judge a player based off their rookie season numbers, especially efficiency-wise, and I still believe that Jalen Green has a ton of potential as a player and can be a star in this league. In today's video, I'll be breaking down the game of Jalen Green, what he does well, what he can improve on, and what his potential as a player is. Quickly, before we do get into today's video, if you're new and you like basketball, I really think you'd love this channel. Haven't already, like, subscribe, hit notification bell, notified whenever I release a video. I make videos breaking down the film of NBA players, so if that's something that interests you, this is the channel for you. Let's try to get 100 likes on this video so YouTube will recommend it to others. That being said, let's get right into the video. Jalen Green is an elite athlete, one of the most impressive young guards athletically to enter the league in some time. He has great burst and quickness when attacking the basket. He's a very fast player with and without the basketball in his hands. He has incredible vertical athleticism. He can jump at the gym. There's a legit argument for him potentially having the highest vertical in the league, but he's also a very flexible player, has great flexibility and body control when finishing in mid-air. He can be an explosive finisher, but also a finesse finisher above and below the rim, and he has just shown so many great signs as a slasher despite a lack of handle. More on that later. He shoots 50.4 within 10 feet, he shoots 55% within 5 feet, and 56.7% in the restricted area, which aren't great numbers overall, but given the deficiencies in his game right now and the physical immaturity of his frame, I do think these numbers are impressive. He does need some work as a finisher, but I think adding more functional strength to his frame will help out a lot with that. He's just not strong enough to handle too much contact right now, which is fine considering he just turned 20 years old. He actually has flashed a bit as someone who can draw fouls. 3.4 free throw attempts per game. Again, isn't a great number overall, but he does have 15 games of at least 5+ free throw attempts and does have a double-digit free throw attempt game and other high single-digit free throw attempt games, and I do think there are signs there, but it is something that needs work. But there's a lot to suggest that Jalen Green can be a major threat as a slasher and foul drawer in the future. He just needs to put it all together. I think it's safe to say that Jalen Green has had his struggles as a shooter during his rookie season. He's not good shooting off the catch as he only shoots 32.3% on his catch and shoot opportunities. He's adjusting to playing off ball more. He just isn't comfortable doing that right now. And considering that for most of his life he was a player that was on ball scoring with the basketball in his hands a lot, the main option, and now he's kinda not, it is a bit of an adjustment to make. He tends to pause when catching and shooting the basketball instead of just instinctively catching and firing, which has allowed defenders to catch up and get a good contest on the side at times. He's actually more comfortable shooting off the dribble, as he shoots 41.6% on field goals he takes between 3 to 6 dribbles on, and that's by far the second highest frequency on field goals per dribble. I do think becoming a better catch and shoot guy will make his scoring game even more deadly and take it to a new level, as it will add a dimension to his scoring arsenal. And due to his athleticism, he can be hard to guard chasing around screens. I think becoming more consistent as a shooter, especially off the catch, he can be one of the best off-ball scorers in the league, and I think that's something that is a very real possibility. I also think adding a mid-range game could help him out because he does tend to be more threes and layup oriented. I'm not saying he has to be DeMar DeRozan from the in-between area, but it could be nice to add a little mid-range game to be a part of that scoring arsenal that he has. He also does struggle with shot selection as well, settling for jumpers and forcing the issue, but these are things all young players struggle with, especially those that play like Jalen does, and I think this will be something that improves over time with more reps in the games. However, despite the numbers not being in his favor as a shooter efficiency-wise, I do think Jalen Green has real potential to be a lethal scorer in the NBA. He flashes as a real offense creator, and the tape has many encouraging moments of go-to scoring potential. I don't think you can look at a number with a rookie and just chalk it up to that. rookies are going to struggle a lot, especially when they're as young as Jalen Green is, and they are expected to become potential go-to scorers the way Jalen Green is. And Jalen has shown a lot more encouraging signs than signs of, oh, this guy's not going to be good, in my opinion. And most of the problems I see with Jalen, especially as a scorer, are things I think will just fix themselves over time, so I'm not too worried about them. I don't think Jalen Green will ever be a special passer, but I do think he can be a solid passer, and that will be more than enough. He's already shown he's capable of making the basic reads, and I think, again, that will be enough given his scoring skill set. I do believe he's actually more willing as a passer than given credit for, and I do believe that, yes, he does struggle with tunnel vision, but it's also something that I believe is something all young scoring guards go through, so I'm not too worried about it. I've been encouraged by Jalen's improvements as a passer throughout the years, but I don't think Jalen has to be an elite passer just because, again, he's going to be that good of a scorer in my opinion. I think the biggest swing factor with Jalen Green will be his handle. His handle isn't good right now. It's a bit loose and he loses the basketball a bit too much for my liking. This has been a problem that's dated back to high school for him. However, in high school, he was able to just out-athlete everyone, and to an extent, I actually think he's been able to do this in the NBA as well, because he's gotten to the rim a decent amount of times, and he doesn't have this great handle, but in the NBA, he hasn't been able to do it consistently, because the athletes are just better, and it's not high school anymore, obviously. I will say this, I have been encouraged by the improvements he's made with his handle. I've seen significant improvement from high school to G-League Ignite, and I've seen some improvements in the NBA, but also more struggles, which are to be expected as a rookie. I think his handle improving will be the biggest kind of factor in all this because it can take his game to the next level. If his handle becomes really good, it will expand his shot creating ability. He already creates separation somewhat well from what I've seen, and if he can add this sort of handle to his game, he will create separation consistently, and it will improve an already pretty dangerous slashing ability as well. Overall, I think Jalen Green has a lot of potential. He's an elite athlete with legit potential to be a high-level scorer in the NBA, someone I believe at his best can be a go-to scorer, get you 25 plus a night, somebody that can have these 50 plus point games throughout his career. That's how good I think he can be. On top of this, all the reports that I've seen suggest he has a great work ethic, and someone that I believe can be a great player just because he has the mindset to. I think the improvements he's made over the years as a player are indicators that can validate those reports about his work ethic. Jalen Green has all the talent in the world, and just to have that alone can make you a solid player or somebody that lasts in the league for a very long time. But he also has the work ethic and the wiring and the motor to want to improve, and the improvements he's made are great signs of that. We can talk about how the Rockets should have taken Evan Mobley all we want, and in all honesty, they probably should have. I think Mobley is a better player. I thought Mobley was a better prospect. But that didn't take away from what Jalen Green does and what Jalen Green can be. Because just because somebody that was drafted after you is going to be better than you doesn't mean that you yourself can't be a great player. I think Jalen Green can be a great player, and I don't think somebody that was drafted behind him being better should take away from that. Jalen Green has all the talent in the world, all the potential in the world, and he has the mindset to be a great player, and it's why I'm so confident in him becoming a great player, despite struggling as a rookie.